Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? Or started telling a story, only to pause midway because a detail slipped your mind? If so, you're not alone and you're certainly not losing it. These little lapses happen to all of us, especially as we grow older. But here's the thing. Memory loss isn't always just a part of aging. Sometimes, it's our daily habits silently working against us, speeding things up without us even realizing it. That's right, some of the things we do every day, often without thinking, could be nudging our memory in the wrong direction. And the good news is, once we spot these habits, we can take simple steps to replace them with ones that nourish our brain instead of draining it. Today, I want to gently walk you through 6 common habits that can speed up memory loss along with what to do instead. Think of this not as a lecture, but as a cozy conversation. Like we're sitting down with a warm cup of tea, looking out over the garden, and talking about how we can stay sharp, independent, and joyful at any age. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Skipping meals, especially breakfast. Now, I know some folks might say, I'm just not hungry in the morning, or I'm trying to eat less to manage my weight. And that's understandable. But here's the truth. Your brain is a hungry organ. It runs on glucose, the simplest form of sugar from the food we eat. When you skip meals, especially that first one of the day, your brain runs low on fuel. And when it runs low on fuel, guess what takes the hit first? Your memory. You might notice it as that fuzzy feeling, or as a harder time concentrating or recalling names and words. Over time, this habit can snowball into more serious issues. So what can you do instead? You don't need a feast every morning, but do aim for something simple and nourishing. Maybe it's a bowl of oatmeal topped with a few berries and a sprinkle of walnuts. Maybe it's a slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter, or just a smoothie with some banana, spinach, and a scoop of protein. The goal isn't to stuff yourself, it's to give your brain the energy it needs to start the day strong. Now, let's talk about another sneaky culprit, sitting for too long. It might seem harmless. After all, what's wrong with relaxing in your favorite chair with a good book or your favorite TV show? The problem isn't the relaxing, it's the sitting for hours on end without moving. Our bodies were made to move, and so were our brains. When we sit too long, especially without taking short breaks, blood flow slows down. And less blood flow means less oxygen and fewer nutrients getting to your brain. That reduced circulation can actually shrink the part of your brain responsible for memory, your hippocampus. Yes, shrink it. But don't worry, you don't need to sign up for a triathlon or go jogging around the block. The antidote is surprisingly simple, gentle movement throughout the day. Get up every hour. Stretch your arms. March in place during commercials. Take a little stroll after lunch, even if it's just to the mailbox and back. Movement is magic. It pumps fresh blood into your brain, wakes up your thinking, and even lifts your mood. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. And if you enjoy gardening, dancing to music while you cook, or even vacuuming with a bit of rhythm, guess what? That counts too. So far, we've talked about skipping meals and sitting too long. Both of those habits can quietly speed up memory decline, but both are fully in our control to change. Let's take a moment to breathe here, because I know what you might be thinking. Am I already too late? Have the years caught up with me? And my answer to you is absolutely not. Your brain is a remarkable thing. Even in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, it can still create new pathways. It can still learn. It can still grow stronger. The key is giving it what it needs and gently letting go of the habits that no longer serve you. Now, speaking of what we feed our brains, let's take a look at something a little sneakier, something that's become a daily ritual for so many people: multitasking. You might be proud of being able to juggle several things at once: answering texts, watching the news, folding laundry, and planning dinner all in one go. But here's the truth. Multitasking is actually a myth. What our brains are really doing is constantly switching from one task to another, back and forth, never fully focusing on any one thing. And over time, This constant switching wears down your brain's ability to focus, and yes, remember, when we don't give our full attention to something, our brain doesn't register it deeply. That's why you might forget where you left your glasses while you were half listening to the weather report and thinking about what to cook later. The solution? Try single tasking. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Focus on one thing at a time. When you're reading, just read. When you're cooking, enjoy the chopping and stirring. When you're having a conversation, really listen. Don't let your mind wander to the to-do list or the phone buzzing nearby. You might even find that single tasking feels peaceful, like a kind of meditation. It gives your brain room to breathe, to absorb, and to remember. And remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. Little shifts, made with love and patience, can bring remarkable results. Let's pause here for a moment, take a breath, and smile. Because the fact that you're here, watching this, tells me something important. You care. You care about your mind, your well-being, your future. And that's a powerful place to start. Now, let's keep going and take a look at another habit that might be affecting your memory more than you think. You might not expect this one, but it's more common than people think. Going through entire days without meaningful conversation. Loneliness is more than just a heavy feeling. It's something that can quietly chip away at your memory. When you don't regularly talk to others, when there's no one to laugh with, to tell a story to, or simply share a thought with, your brain starts to dim its lights a little. You begin to withdraw inward, and the very skills that help memory, language, attention, emotional connection begin to weaken from lack of use. Think about it like this. Your brain is a garden. If you don't speak, don't share, don't connect, it's like forgetting to water the flowers. Slowly, they wither. But with just a little attention and care, they perk up again. The same goes for your memory. And here's the good news: you don't need to host a dinner party every week to stay connected. Sometimes, all it takes is a chat with a neighbor, calling a grandchild just to ask about their day, or joining a local walking group or book club. If you're more comfortable online, there are wonderful communities out there, people your age sharing ideas, stories, and even silly jokes that lift the spirit. Even if you live alone, you can build these connections into your routine. Start by reaching out to someone today, even a short voice message saying, "Thinking of you." That little spark of conversation, it's a workout for your brain and a gift to your heart. Let's turn now to another habit that's easy to overlook, one that sounds innocent but has a surprisingly strong effect on your memory: not getting enough quality sleep. It's tempting to think that once we've hit a certain age, sleep just isn't what it used to be. And while it's true that our sleep patterns change over time, that doesn't mean we should settle for restless nights or early morning tossing and turning. When you don't get enough deep, restorative sleep, your brain doesn't have a chance to organize and file away your memories from the day. It's like leaving your desk cluttered with papers and never sorting them out. Eventually, things get lost in the mess. You may wake up foggy, forget why you walked into the kitchen, or struggle to recall a name that's usually on the tip of your tongue. That's your brain waving a little flag saying, "I didn't get my rest last night." So what can help? Create a calm bedtime ritual. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Avoid screens, yes. That includes your phone. Try sipping a warm cup of herbal tea, listening to soft music, or doing a few gentle stretches. If your mind is busy, write your thoughts down in a small journal before sleep. And most importantly, give yourself permission to rest. You deserve it. One more thing: don't underestimate the impact of caffeine or alcohol, especially later in the day. A cup of coffee after 2 p.m. or a glass of wine before bed can disrupt your sleep more than you think. Be kind to your future self by giving your brain the rest it needs to stay sharp, balanced, and at peace. We've covered some deeply personal things so far: how we eat, how we move, how we connect, and how we rest. Now let's take a moment to talk about something that isn't always easy to face: how we talk to ourselves. Yes, That quiet voice in your head, the one that comments when you forget your keys, or stumble over a name, or walk into the grocery store and wonder what you came for. Sometimes that voice is gentle, but often it's not. What's wrong with me? I'm getting so forgetful. I must be losing my mind. Those words might seem small, but your brain listens. It soaks in the self-talk like a sponge. And the more often you say things like that, the more your brain believes them. It stops trying so hard, starts expecting to forget. But here's the beautiful twist. Just as that voice can tear you down, it can also lift you up. So instead of saying, I'm so forgetful, try saying, I'm learning to focus more. Instead of, my brain's not what it used to be, say, my mind is still growing, and I'm doing things every day to help it thrive. This isn't about pretending things are perfect. It's about speaking to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love. Because you deserve that same kindness. And when you give it to yourself, your brain hears it loud and clear, and it responds. Your memory, your focus, your joy, they all flourish in an environment of encouragement. So next time you misplace something, smile, take a breath, and gently say, it's okay. I'll find it. I always do. Then keep moving forward. You see, the brain isn't just a machine. It's an emotional organ, too. And when you fill it with stress, fear, or criticism, it stiffens. When you fill it with compassion, play, and patience, it softens, opens, and shines. Let me pause for a moment and just acknowledge something. You're doing something powerful right now. You're showing up for yourself. You're tuning in. You're learning. And even more important, you're believing, maybe just a little bit more, that you can protect your memory, care for your mind, and stay sharp for years to come. Let that belief settle in like sunlight on your shoulders. Now, let's continue our gentle walk through the habits that matter. There's still one more we need to talk about, one that touches so many lives, yet often hides in plain sight. Let's talk about stress, not the kind that hits like a storm, but the quiet kind that simmers beneath the surface. It shows up when you're worried about your health, when the news is overwhelming, when family dynamics feel strained, or when your days lack structure. Sometimes, it doesn't look like stress at all. It looks like irritability, fatigue, a restless mind that just won't settle. And over time, this low-grade, chronic stress becomes a quiet thief, one that steals your memory bit by bit, moment by moment. Here's what happens. When your body is in a constant state of alert, even mild stress, it releases a hormone called cortisol. And when cortisol sticks around too long, it starts to damage the hippocampus, the very part of the brain responsible for storing and retrieving memory. You begin to feel foggy, more forgetful, slower. Now, we can't eliminate all stress, and we shouldn't try to. Life has its ups and downs, and we need to feel and process all of it. But we can change how we respond to stress, and that makes all the difference. One of the most powerful tools is the simplest: breath. When you feel that tightness in your chest or that swirl of thoughts in your head, pause. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it gently for a moment. And then exhale through your mouth. Do it again, just 2 or 3 times. Feel your shoulders lower. Feel your heart ease. That's your nervous system shifting. That's your brain saying, I'm safe. I can think clearly now. Other small things can help, too. Listening to music you love. Spending 5 quiet minutes in nature. Journaling your thoughts. Praying. Laughing at a silly video or a favorite memory. These things may seem small, but to your brain, they are golden. Because what your brain needs most is not perfection, it's peace. And when you invite peace in, even in the smallest ways, your memory begins to reawaken. Your clarity returns. Your mind, once tense and tangled, starts to smooth out like a calm lake. Now, let's step back and breathe together for a moment. We've walked through 6 habits that can quietly speed up memory loss, and even more importantly, we've looked at what you can do instead. And if any of those habits felt familiar, if you thought, that's me, I want you to know that's not failure. That's awareness. And awareness is the beginning of change. Because here's the truth. It's never too late to tend to your mind. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You don't need to chase a perfect routine or meet some impossible standard. All you need is a gentle shift, one kind choice at a time. Maybe that looks like having a real breakfast tomorrow instead of just coffee, or going for a 5-minute walk after lunch, or calling someone just to hear their voice, or choosing one quiet evening to rest without screens or distractions. Maybe it's the way you speak to yourself, catching that inner critic mid-sentence and replacing it with encouragement instead. Every small change is a message to your brain. I care about you. I'm paying attention now. And your brain, this miraculous, resilient part of you, it responds. It lights up. It grows new connections. It thanks you with clearer thoughts, stronger memories, and a deeper sense of presence in your daily life. You're not losing your mind. You're learning how to support it, how to love it, how to walk with it gently through this beautiful season of life. And while we're here, can I tell you something personal? I believe in you. I believe in your ability to make changes. I believe in your curiosity, your strength, and your wisdom. I believe that the best years of your mind don't have to be behind you. They can still be ahead, filled with clarity, laughter, and the quiet joy of remembering what matters most. So if this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one small habit you're ready to change, or one thing that already helps you stay sharp and centered? Your story might inspire someone else who's reading. And if this conversation felt meaningful to you, if it gave you even one new idea or a sense of hope, I invite you to click that like button and subscribe to our channel. We share new videos each week, all designed to help you thrive, grow, and feel vibrant no matter your age. Because growing older isn't about fading. It's about refining, honing, becoming more fully who you are with grace, wisdom, and yes, a little memory boost along the way. Here's to the power of small changes. Here's to the resilience of your mind. And here's to living your most joyful, clear-headed, purposeful life starting right now. You've got this. And I'll be right here, cheering you on. Let's sit with this a little longer, shall we? Because sometimes what we need most isn't another list of tips or another piece of advice. We need to feel seen. To feel like someone understands the quiet worries that creep in after 60, the forgotten names, the appointments missed, the moments that make us stop mid-sentence and whisper to ourselves, wait, what was I saying again? If you've ever felt scared by that, please hear me. You are not alone. Not now. Not ever. Memory loss carries with it more than just forgetfulness. It carries fear. A fear that you'll become a burden, that you'll lose touch with your own identity, that one day the people you love will look into your eyes and see only the shell of who you once were. But here's the beautiful, hopeful truth we so often forget to speak out loud. Memory is not a fixed thing. It's not a one-way street. It's alive. It's adaptable. And even if you've been forgetful lately, even if you feel like things have slipped a bit, you still have the power to grow sharper, more focused, more grounded in who you are and what you love. The human brain is a miracle. Yes, even now, especially now, your brain still creates new connections, still responds to movement, still lights up with conversation, still softens in laughter and grows stronger in sleep. It's not fading, it's waiting for you to nourish it, to tend to it, to whisper back, I'm here. I haven't given up on you. And you haven't. That's why you're here. Let's talk a bit about something that doesn't get mentioned often enough when it comes to memory: purpose. You see, memory thrives when it has something meaningful to hold on to, a reason to keep showing up, a reason to reach back and recall a birthday, a recipe, the punchline to a story, the look on your daughter's face when she laughed so hard she cried. That kind of memory isn't just about neurons, it's about connection. It's about emotional imprint. It's about meaning. So if you're looking to protect your memory, don't just eat well, sleep better, or walk more. Do something that gives you purpose. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to matter. Maybe you keep a garden not just for the flowers, but because watching something grow reminds you that you still can too. Maybe you bake bread on Sundays because your hands remember what your heart refuses to forget. That rituals keep us alive. Maybe you volunteer, or paint, or write letters, or read to your grandchildren on the phone every Friday. Whatever it is, find it. Hold it close. Let it anchor you. Because when your life has meaning, your brain says, this is important. I need to remember this. And while we're at it, let's not forget joy. Joy is not something we grow out of. It's something we grow back into if we let ourselves. Find something silly, something beautiful, something that makes you grin when no one's looking. Dance to music from your youth. Try a new puzzle. Watch birds. Tell a joke. Wear your favorite sweater just because. These tiny joys are not childish. They're lifelines. They're oxygen for the mind. And they remind your brain that life isn't just about remembering, it's about living. Let's pull back and take a look at everything you've just gifted yourself by being here. You've learned that skipping meals, especially breakfast, robs your brain of fuel. That sitting too long starves your memory of movement and circulation. That multitasking makes your thoughts feel fractured and scattered. That loneliness shrinks your world, and connection expands it. That sleep is not just rest, it's restoration. That self-talk, if harsh, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That chronic stress fogs the mind, but peace brings clarity. That purpose brings memory to life. That joy brings light to the dark corners. And above all else, you've remembered this. Your mind is still yours. Your memory is not lost. It's simply waiting for you to reach for it, patiently and with kindness. So take this moment and place your hand gently over your heart. Go ahead. Feel that steady beat? That's your life saying, I'm not done yet. That's your mind whispering, there's still so much more I want to remember, create, and become. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Show up for your brain the way you would for an old friend, loving, loyal, forgiving, encouraging. And one day, not long from now, you'll find yourself remembering more not because you tried harder, but because you cared better. So, from me to you, thank you. Thank you for giving your memory a chance. Thank you for believing that it's not too late. Thank you for choosing your mind, your future, your joy. I'd love to hear from you what brings you joy lately. What simple habit are you trying to change? What memory makes you smile every time it comes back to you? Drop a comment below. Someone out there might need your words as much as you needed this video. If this touched your heart, click like. And if you want more videos like this warm, wise, and made just for you, don't forget to subscribe. We're building a community of minds that never stop growing, loving, and living fully. This isn't the end. It's a new beginning. One filled with clarity, connection, and confidence. Here's to your memory. Here's to your mind. And here's to the beautiful life still unfolding ahead of you. Stay well. Stay present. And remember, you're still becoming.